Chuck Norris is now over 80. How he lives is sad. Do you really know about the tragic life behind the spotlight of Chuck Norris, the iconic American actor and martial artist? The reality is far from the glittering facade we often see. Throughout his nearly 8-decade existence, he suffered the pain of losing loved ones from childhood until adulthood. This video will unveil the harrowing obstacles he faced, revealing a side of his story that might take you by shock. Prepare to be astonished by the resilience of Chuck Norris. Let's dive in. Chuck Norris, well known for his diverse ancestry, shares Irish and Cherokee heritage. He was christened after his father's minister, Carlos Barry, which led to his iconic nickname Chuck. As the oldest sibling in his family, Chuck had 2 younger brothers, Wand and Aaron. His middle brother, Juan Norris, ominously predicted he would not live past his 26th year, a prophecy that sadly came true when Juan passed away in 1970, just months after Chuck's youngest brother, Wiand, was born. During this period, their father, Ray Norris, served in World War II. In his memoir, Against All Odds, My Story, Chuck Norris recounts the challenging times his family faced, particularly when they were informed that Ray was missing in action, MIA. The uncertainty and distress that followed must have been overwhelming for the entire family. When Ray finally returned from the war, it was clear that his experiences had deeply affected him, leading him to seek solace in alcohol, which only worsened his struggles. Chuck vividly describes the severe domestic turmoil that ensued, including violent episodes where Ray, in a drunken rage, would confront his wife over trivial matters, such as the mere fif she had served for groceries. The situation at home was volatile. Minor annoyances could provoke Ray into explosive outbursts. A particular trigger was the noise of running water when he was nursing a hangover, which would lead him to hurl threats and obscenities around their home. During these frightful outbursts, Chuck and his brother Wiand would often hide in their room while their mother tried to mitigate the situation and soothe their father's anger. Chuck Norris shared insights about the few role models available to him in his youth. He often looked up to cowboys he watched in movies, which he could only afford to see when he had an extra dime. These characters inspired him with ideals and virtues to emulate, even as he recognized his mother's strength and resilience amid their challenging circumstances. In his revealing memoir, Against All Odds, My Story, Norris talked about his difficult upbringing with a father caught in a destructive spiral of alcoholism, abuse, and hollow apologies. He viewed his father as a negative influence, a person not to follow, and a cautionary example, despite hoping his father would overcome his addiction. Norris painfully acknowledged that such a change was unlikely. Norris vividly recounted a critical moment when his family was relocating from Arizona to Oklahoma. One night, in a dangerous display of his ongoing alcohol issues, his father drunkenly decided to drive the family back to Arizona. Chuck described this terrifying experience with his father swerving dangerously on the road, while his mother, in absolute fear, cried and begged him to stop to prevent a potential tragedy. Several years after the birth of Chuck Norris's youngest brother Aaron, a tragic incident unfolded. While driving drunk, their father hit and killed a woman, an event that led to his conviction and sentencing to a work camp. Despite this severe consequence, Chuck and his family clung to the hope that this experience might prompt his father's sobriety. However, this optimism was short-lived, as Chuck sadly observed his father quickly resuming his destructive drinking habits after being released from the camp. He recounted the increasing aggression and abuse directed at his mother at home. During a particularly violent altercation between his parents, Chuck intervened, standing between them, with a hammer in hand as a desperate measure for protection. Fortunately, his father was too intoxicated to perceive the real threat. It was at this critical moment that Chuck Norris and his family realized they had to permanently leave their home to escape the worsening cycle of alcoholism and abuse. This difficult choice marked a crucial turning point, leading them to seek a safer and more stable living environment, away from the years of turmoil that had deeply affected their family life. In his book Black Belt Patriotism: How to Reawaken America, Chuck Norris outlines his vision for addressing national issues. despite not always having been overtly patriotic. He recounted on the Dick Cavett Show a poignant story about his brother, Wieland, who died heroically in Vietnam after detecting an ambush, saving his unit but losing his life. Learned from a fellow soldier at Wieland's funeral, this act of bravery deeply impacted Norris. Initially a staunch war supporter, Norris's views evolved, recognizing the war as driven more by economic than principled motives, reflecting on the profound personal and national consequences of the conflict. Chuck Norris disclosed the deep impact his first divorcee had on him in his memoir, Against All Odds, My Story. He described the experience as a profound shock that dramatically changed his life, introducing emotional chows and a new lifestyle. Historically surrounded by supportive and strong women, the divorce disrupted his accustomed security. His life shifted dramatically upon receiving a letter from Diana Dioli, who claimed to be his daughter. Diana's mother, Johanna, had briefly dated Chuck during his military days, though he had not been forthcoming about his marital status. Johanna initially advised Diana against contacting Chuck to protect his marriage. However, after his divorce was public, Diana reached out. Meeting her, Chuck immediately recognized her as his daughter and faced the consequences of his past actions. Admitting his extramarital affair violated his moral values, he experienced profound guilt and sought forgiveness from Johanna, regretting the missed years with Diana and her mother, despite eventually seeing this newfound relationship as a blessing. In the same memoir, Chuck Norris also explores his political involvement and his connection with Lee Atwater. A prominent political strategist, Atwater saw Norris as a conservative figure who could enhance George H.W. Bush's campaign with his rugged image. Through Atwater's encouragement, Norris actively participated in the campaign, fostering a strong personal and political friendship with Atwater. This engagement marked his significant entry into politics and demonstrated the mutual respect and camaraderie between Norris and Atwater, as recounted in Norris's reflections on his political journey. Because YouTube will prioritize interactive videos, please comment "OK" if you find this video interesting. Thank you. Lee Atwater, renowned for his significant impact on American politics and for helping secure Ronald Reagan's presidential nomination, met a tragic end. He died in 1991 at just 40 years old after collapsing during a speech and being diagnosed with an inoperable brain tumor, as his condition worsened. Atwater's physical appearance drastically changed. Reflecting the severity of his illness, in his memoir, Chuck Norris shared his poignant experiences visiting Atwater during these difficult times. Allowed among the few to see him, Norris witnessed Atwater's health decline to where he could barely whisper. During one of these visits, Norris, deeply moved, kissed Atwater on the forehead and experienced a flood of emotions as he left the hospital room, unable to stop his tears. This encounter left a lasting impression on Norris, prompting deep reflections on his own life and mortality. He realized the fragility of human life, noting that even the most robust and influential individuals are not immune to life's unpredictabilities. Atwater's sudden decline and premature death profoundly affected Norris, underscoring the universal vulnerability to which all humans are subject regardless of their strength or status. In 2017, Chuck Norris stepped back from public appearances, a move that caught the attention of his fans. He later disclosed to the Washington Post that his retreat was due to the severe health issues faced by his wife, Gina O'Kelly. Norris dedicated himself to raising public awareness about the risks linked to MRI contrast agents, sparked by Gina's adverse reaction to one such agent. Initially, Gina underwent an MRI as a precaution to evaluate her risk for rheumatoid arthritis. Unfortunately, following the scan, she began to suffer from debilitating symptoms, including tremors, numbness, and a significant struggle with speech and cognitive functions. Her health rapidly worsened, necessitating numerous emergency room visits and extended hospital stays. The financial toll of her medical care soared, reaching an estimated $2 million. Gina pursued various treatments in hopes of restoring her central nervous system, including traveling to China to undergo experimental stem cell therapies. Throughout this distressing time, Chuck Norris was consumed by fear and helplessness, vividly expressing his anguish with the words, "There's nothing going on here. She's dying right in front of me here." His concerns extended beyond his wife's suffering, without touching on the broader implications for others affected by gadolinium deposition disease, a serious condition believed to be linked to the contrast dyes used in MRIs. The couple initially responded to their ordeal by filing a $10 million lawsuit against the manufacturers of the contrast dye, accusing them of causing Gina's illness. Their legal battle aimed to hold the companies accountable and to highlight the potential dangers of MRI contrast agents. However, after a grueling legal process, Chuck and Gina withdrew their lawsuit, ending without a settlement. This period marked a profoundly challenging chapter in their lives, underscored by personal tragedy, a public health campaign, and a complex legal struggle. Despite various life challenges, Chuck Norris has achieved notable success and maintained a strong presence in political discourse. At over 80 years old, he is recognized as a vocal Republican and conservative advocate, contributing as a columnist to the far-right website WorldNet Daily. Reflecting on the 1984 movie Missing in Action, Norris revealed his conservative stance, his support for Ronald Reagan, and his patriotism. He stated his loyalty was to strong, outspoken leaders rather than to any particular party. While filming the Delta Force in 1986, Norris commented on the TWA Flight 847 hijacking and U.S. Middle East policies, criticizing America's passive response to terrorism. He warned that terrorism seen in Europe and the Middle East could spread to the U.S., referencing threats from Muammar Gaddafi as evidence of the risks. These views underscore his conservative beliefs and concerns about national security and America's global role, that because YouTube will prioritize interactive videos. Please comment OK if you find this video interesting. Thank you. Chuck Norris has been actively involved in a variety of political and public actions over the years, marked by his visits, endorsements, and publications. In 2007, Norris traveled to Iraq to support US troops, showcasing his appreciation for their service. In 2008, he publicly supported California Proposition 8, which sought to ban same-sex marriage, and criticized activists for undermining the democratic process. He also highlighted a perceived bias against the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. While noting that African Americans who supported the proposition were less criticized, in 2009, Norris aligned with the birther conspiracy, questioning President Barack Obama's citizenship and urging him to release his birth certificate to quell the rumors. By 2011, he was investigating the potential influence of Sharia law in the US through a series of articles. In 2012, Norris accused the Obama administration of influencing a Boy Scouts of America board member to change the organization's policy on gay membership. During the same year's election, he shifted his presidential endorsement from Ron Paul to Newt Gingrich, and eventually to Mitt Romney, despite previous criticisms. Chuck Norris also played a role in international politics, endorsing Benjamin Netanyahu during Israel's 2013 and 2015 elections, and supporting Mike Huckabee in the 2016 US presidential primaries, before eventually endorsing the GOP nominee once decided. In 2017, he backed Roy Moore in the Alabama Senate special election. His 2019 endorsement of Glock attracted criticism amidst national debates on gun control. In 2021, Norris supported the effort to recall California Governor Gavin Newsom, endorsing Larry Elder as a replacement. This array of political activities and endorsements highlights Norris's ongoing influence and the diverse range of his political involvements. In 1990, Chuck Norris launched two philanthropic endeavors, the United Fighting Arts Federation and Kickstart Kids, aimed at boosting self-esteem and diverting at-risk youth from drugs through martial arts training. By engaging middle and high school students in martial arts, Norris sought to provide them with a positive outlet that could help shape a promising future. Beyond establishing these organizations, Norris actively supported them through financial means. He owned a ranch in Navasota, Texas, where water was bottled and sold, with part of the proceeds benefiting environmental initiatives and Kickstart Kids. His philanthropy extended to various charities, including Funds for Kids, the Veterans Administration National Salute to Hospitalized Veterans, the United Way, and the Make-A-Wish Foundation through donations and fundraising. Norris's role as a spokesperson for the U.S. Veterans Administration drew on his Air Force service in Korea, focusing on raising awareness of veterans' needs. In 2001, his efforts were recognized when he received the Veteran of the Year award. Internationally, Norris supported the Vijay Amritraj Foundation in India, helping fund facilities for pediatric HIV/AIDS, a blind school, and a mission for HIV/AIDS infected adults and mentally ill patients, showcasing his commitment to global charitable causes. As we wrap up today's exploration into the life and challenges of Chuck Norris, it's clear that his story is not just one of fame and success, but also of resilience and dedication. Chuck's journey teaches us the importance of standing by our loved ones in times of crisis and the impact of stepping up to fight for what we believe in, even when the odds seem overwhelming. Life threw numerous challenges at Chuck, from his wife's health struggles to his own shifts in political and personal beliefs. Through it all, he demonstrated that adversity can be a powerful catalyst for change and advocacy. His actions remind us that we too can channel our trials into positive outcomes, be it through supporting a loved one, advocating for safer medical practices, or simply being there for others in their time of need. Now, I want to hear from you. If you've been inspired by Chuck Norris's resilience or have your own stories of overcoming adversity, drop a comment below with the letter C. Let's keep the conversation going. Share your thoughts, and let's discuss how we can apply the lessons from Chuck's life to our own challenges. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Iconic for more stories like this. Your support helps us bring more inspiring tales and life lessons to light. So, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Let's continue to learn from each other's experiences and grow together. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep fighting the good fight. After he died 25 years, Roy Rogers' daughter confirms what we thought all along. Did you know about the legendary cowboy Roy Rogers? His fame soared in the 1940s, captivating particularly the hearts of young girls who viewed him as an emblem of heroism. However, whispers of a mysterious past have lingered, a secret veiled until this moment, now affirmed by his daughter, validating our long-standing suspicions. Roy Rogers wasn't just celebrated for his contributions to music and film. He was also revered as a dedicated family man fathering 12 children. Despite the challenges this undoubtedly brought, many aspects of his life and career have remained hidden from public view. With his daughter's recent revelations, we are invited to explore the genuine story behind the legend. Join us as we uncover the truth, long suspected and now finally brought to light. Leonard Franklin Sly, who would later be known worldwide as Roy Rogers, was born in Cincinnati, Ohio on November 5, 1911. In 1930, he made the pivotal move to California, setting the stage for his future musical career. He quickly became involved in the music scene, joining several bands and notably helping to establish the Sons of the Pioneers alongside Bob Nolan. His career took a decisive turn in 1938 when he adopted the name Roy Rogers. This change coincided with his entry into Hollywood westerns, a transition cemented by signing a contract with Republic Pictures, thus beginning the legendary journey of the man who would become known as the King of the Cowboys. Intriguing insights from Roy Rogers' niece Julie shed light on the Hollywood executives' attempts to mold Rogers into a cinematic icon akin to Clark Gable, particularly targeting his eyes to mirror Gable's distinctive look. Julie humorously noted the futility of their efforts, stating, "It was Clark Gable's eyes that they were shooting for when it came to Grandpa, but he was never going to have Clark Gable's eyes." Recognizing the impossibility of replicating such a specific trait, the studio shifted its focus towards altering other aspects of Rogers' image to fit their vision. The pursuit of an idealized image didn't stop with his appearance, it extended to his physique. Julie recounted how the studio deemed Rogers not muscular enough, suggesting he perform 100 handstands a day and walk on his hands to build strength. Rogers embraced this challenge, often moving from set to set on his hands. Despite these efforts to meet Hollywood's physical standards, the audience remained unswayed by these superficial changes, which ultimately had little effect on his appeal. Rogers' aversion to the superficiality of Hollywood socializing posed another dilemma. When asked to network at social events, Rogers proposed an unconventional solution, bringing along a friend, not from the celebrity circle, but his hunting companion. They spent the event discussing hunting, a stark contrast to the expected mingling. This incident humorously highlighted how Rogers' grounded personality clashed with the artificiality of Hollywood's social scene, emphasizing his authenticity and the unique charm that made him a beloved figure far removed from the studio's initial attempts to repackage his image. The tale of Roy Rogers' ascent to country western music fame and Hollywood stardom is a remarkable one. Beginning with an exchange as humble as a bushel for a guitar, with a deep-seated love for music, he went on to co-found the Sons of the Pioneers. This group quickly made a name for themselves with their hit Tumbling Tumbleweeds, leading to cameo roles in several films. A pivotal moment in Rogers' career came upon discovering that Republic Pictures was on the hunt for a new singing cowboy due to Gene Autry's financial disagreements with the studio. Rogers, seeing his chance, went to audition but was initially rebuffed by a studio guard. Not one to give up easily, he ingeniously blended in with a group of Western extras to gain entry. It was then that a producer, recognizing him from his work with the Sons of the Pioneers, tapped him on the shoulder. This was no guard, but a gateway to opportunity. Rogers was told to get his guitar and ultimately won the audition. This serendipitous event marked the turning point that would transform his career forever. Chasing fame, Rogers knew he needed a name that was both heroic and unforgettable. Operating under Len Sly for his music with the Sons of the Pioneers, and as Dick Weston in small film roles, he chose to transform into Roy Rogers. This decision was thoughtful. The surname Rogers was in honor of Will Rogers, the humorist whom Roy admired deeply. The given name, Roy, was inspired by its roots in the American rendition of the French term for king, reflecting a sovereign and powerful aura fitting for an up-and-coming cowboy icon. In 1938, Roy Rogers' career took a dramatic turn upward as he stepped into the role previously held by Gene Autry in the film Under Western Stars. This movie became a pivotal moment for Rogers, captivating both critics and viewers with his engaging performance. Unbeknownst to him at the time, this role would kickstart an extraordinary period of success, positioning him as the premier Western star at the box office. His reign at the top would span an impressive 12 years, from 1943 to 1954, marking the beginning of his legendary status in Hollywood. Trigger, Roy Rogers' Golden Palomino stallion, played an indispensable role in Rogers' on-screen identity. Their relationship extended far beyond a mere cinematic alliance. They were genuinely inseparable. Trigger emerged as a star in his own capacity, proudly featured alongside Rogers on movie posters as the smartest horse in the movies. The profound bond shared between the two and Trigger's remarkable intelligence were key factors that greatly enhanced the allure and success of Roy Rogers' films. At the zenith of his career, Roy Rogers reached an unprecedented level of fame and commercial success, rivaling even that of Walt Disney in terms of merchandise proliferation. His influence extended well beyond the confines of the cinema, establishing him as a cultural icon deeply embedded in popular culture. Reflecting on the impact he had on family life, Rogers, in a 1992 interview with The Inquirer, described himself as a de facto babysitter of the era, providing a safe and enjoyable environment for children while offering parents a brief respite. They would leave their children to enjoy his films and return to find them contented, full of treats like candy and popcorn. This recollection highlights the wholesome, family-oriented appeal of Rogers' work, affirming his status not only as a cherished entertainer, but also as a trusted figure for parents and an endearing icon to children.
The personal life of Roy Rogers was a tapestry of both immense joy and profound sorrow, weaving a narrative rich in emotion and resilience. A loving father at heart, Rogers, alongside his first wife Arlene, encountered obstacles in their desire to build a family. Their decision to adopt a baby girl named Cheryl in 1942 marked a hopeful beginning. Yet, this joy was soon overshadowed by tragedy when Arlene passed away shortly after the birth of their biological children, Linda in 1943 and Roy Rogers Jr., lovingly nicknamed Dusty in 1946. The loss of Arlene left Rogers a widower burdened with the care of 3 young children, propelling him into a deep personal crisis and testing his strength in the face of adversity. In the midst of hardship, Roy Rogers discovered comfort and companionship with Dale Evans, his cherished co-star.
Their relationship, already deep, blossomed into romance unexpectedly, culminating in Rogers' dramatic proposal to Evans before a rodeo audience. Mounted on Trigger, his faithful horse, Rogers asked Evans to marry him, and she silently agreed with a yes as she stood beside him under the spotlight. Their marriage on New Year's Eve in 1947 signified more than a union of two stars. It heralded a new beginning for Rogers, offering him a chance at love and a renewed life. Their journey together faced immediate tests, particularly with the arrival of their daughter, Robin, who faced societal challenges and medical issues from birth. Despite societal pressures and medical advice to the contrary, Rogers and Evans chose to care for Robin at home, a decision that underscored their unwavering love and commitment to her. Although Robin's life was tragically brief, succumbing to complications from MPS that led to sepsis just after her second birthday, her impact on her family was profound. She not only changed their lives, but also helped shift societal views on developmental disabilities. The openness and courage of Roy Rogers and Dale Evans in sharing their personal struggles and triumphs made them pioneers in advocating for acceptance and understanding of individuals with Down syndrome and other disabilities. Their legacy is marked not just by their contributions to entertainment, but by their significant role in promoting a more inclusive and compassionate society. In a 1999 interview with John Kaiser of The Inquirer, Roy Rogers offered insights into his life, colored by both happiness and hardship, emphasizing, "If you don't have tough times in your life, it's hard to appreciate the good times. Life is what you get out of it. You can help make misery, or you can help make happiness." As his celebrated career advanced, Rogers faced daunting financial difficulties that threatened his standing and prosperity in Hollywood. A significant blow was dealt when he suffered losses from a diamond mine investment. Despite his efforts to adapt by branching out into various movie genres and television shows, he found it challenging to replicate the success he enjoyed in his heyday. Despite these setbacks, Rogers' faith and dedication to his family never wavered. A man of deep Christian faith, he sought comfort and strength in God's grace, engaging in prayer and Bible study alongside his wife Dale Evans, who also upheld the same spiritual beliefs. Their consistent church attendance and support for Christian initiatives showcased their profound commitment to their faith, offering them resilience and guidance through the ups and downs of life and career. In October 1952, Roy Rogers and Dale Evans graced Cincinnati with a visit that left an indelible mark on the city. They performed at the Cincinnati Gardens and made an appearance on Ruth Lyons' popular show, The 50 Club, broadcast on WLWT. During this visit, Rogers humorously shared his connection to the Chukka heritage, playfully noting that he was 164th Chukka. Beyond their scheduled performances and media engagements, Rogers and Evans demonstrated their deep-seated compassion through a heartfelt interaction with children from a Covington home for disabled youngsters. Among these children was a 6-year-old boy who had faced neglect and abuse from his alcoholic parents and was subsequently abandoned. Dressed in his iconic cowboy attire, Rogers met the boy, offering him not just a glimpse of celebrity, but a moment filled with joy and the promise of hope, despite the boy's challenging life experiences. The story of Marion Fleming, who would later be known as Mimi Swift, beautifully illustrates the warmth and inclusivity of the Rogers family. Born in an air raid shelter in Edinburgh, Scotland, during the tumult of World War II, Marion's early life was spent in orphanages, setting the stage for an unlikely fairy tale. Her life took a remarkable turn when she had the opportunity to sing for Roy Rogers and Dale Evans during their visit to Dunfermline. This performance not only showcased her vocal talent, but also forged a deep connection with the couple, particularly with her soon-to-be sister Dodie, another adoptee of the Rogers family. Roy Rogers held Mimi in a special place within his heart, treating her with the same love and affection he had for his biological children. He often said, "She's been with us since she was 13 years old. We love her just as much as we do our own children," highlighting the genuine bond they shared. Encouraged by Rogers, Mimi pursued her passion for music and frequently performed alongside Roy, Dale, and the rest of the family. Her enchanting voice became a fixture in their performances, further cementing her place within the Rogers legacy. Mimi's journey from an orphanage in Scotland to the heart of Hollywood royalty is a testament to the love and unity that defined the Rogers family. In 1955, Roy Rogers and Dale Evans once more opened their hearts and home to a new family member, adopting Lu-ai Lee, a 3-year-old orphan of the Korean War, whom they affectionately renamed Debbie Lee. Her arrival infused the Rogers household with renewed joy and the promise of fresh beginnings. However, a devastating event occurred on August 17, 1964, just after Debbie celebrated her 12th birthday. She was part of a church group on a mission to deliver food and clothing to an orphanage in Tijuana, Mexico, when the bus she was on collided with a truck. This tragic accident claimed Debbie's life, leaving an indelible mark of sorrow on the Rogers family. Roy Rogers deeply valued his time with family, immersing himself in activities like playing games, sharing stories, singing together, and enjoying horseback rides. These shared experiences were not just for bonding. They served as opportunities for Rogers to instill essential values like honesty, kindness, generosity, and courage in the younger generations. He once poignantly expressed, "My family is my life," highlighting the profound importance of his loved ones in everything he did. In July 1988, Rogers made a memorable return to Cincinnati for the celebrated Greater Cincinnatan Homecoming, a key part of the city's bicentennial festivities. Upon his arrival, when a reporter inquired if he was acquainted with the legendary cowboy, Rogers humorously confirmed his familiarity with himself. This event coincided with the Major League Baseball All-Star Game at Riverfront Stadium, attracting a constellation of 80 celebrities to the city. Amid this gathering of notable personalities, Roy Rogers stood out, capturing the limelight and drawing the most attention, a testament to his enduring charm and appeal. On July 6, 1998, the world bid farewell to the legendary Roy Rogers, yet his remarkable legacy continues to touch the hearts of millions globally. In the serene moments before his passing, Roy found solace in his faith and inner peace, reflecting on a life well lived. He shared a poignant final moment with his son, Dusty Rogers, with whom he had recently reconciled after a period of estrangement due to personal and religious differences. Roy's last words to Dusty, "I never expected to see you in heaven," conveyed both a sense of surprise and joy at their reconciliation. This heartfelt exchange underscored the depth of their relationship and Roy's hope for a continued connection beyond this life, marking a tender conclusion to an extraordinary journey. The news of Roy Rogers' passing struck a chord with countless fans and admirers, leaving a profound impact on those influenced by his life and enduring legacy. At his memorial service, Dale Evans, his beloved partner in life and art, delivered a touching eulogy proclaiming, "Heaven rejoices today because another saint has come home." The ceremony was imbued with emotion as Dale and her children sang Happy Trails, offering a poignant tribute to the cowboy who had captured the hearts of so many. The media and celebrities alike expressed their sorrow and admiration for Rogers, a figure synonymous with integrity, kindness, and philanthropy. His legacy was celebrated not only for his monumental contributions to entertainment, but also for his generous spirit and moral fortitude. Tributes poured in from notable individuals, including President Bill Clinton and prominent Hollywood executives, all echoing the sentiment that Roy Rogers was a man of exemplary character, whose impact transcended his cinematic achievements. What do you think about the exclusive insights into his life shared by the daughter and granddaughter of Roy Rogers? Join the conversation by dropping a comment below. Press 1 if you felt a connection with this story, or heart roll if it didn't resonate with you. Your insights and feedback are invaluable as we explore stories that delve into the essence of human experience. Thank you for watching, and we eagerly anticipate your participation in future videos. Goodbye.